Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So, we shall continue on our discussion on the topic that we are on, where we are trying to understand the Paratattva, which is Supreme Truth itself and its manifestations. So, let's get started. And then we have a wonderful presentation coming up as well from Selfless Team. So, let me share my screen. We'll get started with our presentation with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo, Ishwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanuramardanam. Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe. Very warm welcome to all of you. So let's get started on the topic of our discussion. So just to give a quick context, we are in Shloka 5.18, and as part of this discussion, the truly learned, the definition of truly learned is that who understands who is I, as well as what is the supreme truth. And as part of that discussion, we've been talking about the three manifestations of God, the supreme truth. Um, and we covered the Brahman and the Paramatma aspect of God. And today we will continue on that and introduce the third aspect of God, which is going to be a pretty interesting discussion as well. So let me share my screen and we shall get started on this discussion. So this is what we are talking about. God manifests in three ways. This is a very deep philosophy. You will not get that exposure unless, of course, you have come in contact with J.K. Yoga or Maharajji's philosophy. You will not get that. A lot of people, they spend their entire life thinking a certain way. That belief system is never challenged, right? God is Nirakar, God is light, God is Jyoti Punj, God is, all pervading. And that is only aspect. It's only if you have come across Maharajji's philosophy will you get to understand this esoteric principle in a very simplified way that you can relate to as well. So these are the three forms of God: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. So we spoke about Brahman and Paramatma, and today we will talk about the Bhagwan. This is Bhagwan. So what does Maharajji say in his Bhakti Shatak about Bhagwan, right? We looked at the verses around Paramatma and Brahman. So in Bhagwan, he says that Sarva Shakti Prakatya Ho Leela Vividha Prakar Radhe Radhe विहरत परिकर संग जो तेहि भगवान पुकार राधे राधे. So what this says is the form of God in whom every divine power is fully manifested. So the operative words are every divine power and fully manifested, whose all beautiful divine form has unlimited names and virtues, right? Even Ramayana says, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, and who's always performing all loving leelas with his intimate divine associates in his divine abode is Bhagavan Krishna. Okay. So let's see some more references. You may say, okay, Maharaj Ji has said that, but can you give me some scriptural references for this as well? So sure enough, we will pick up more scriptural references to see what those are talking about. Okay, so we'll start off with Bhagavad Gita. This is one of my favorite shlokas. It is the date is not very auspicious date to remember, but shloka you can always remember. It's 9/11. Okay, so the shloka says, Avajananti ma mudha Manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So Lord Krishna is very clearly stating in this shloka. What does he say? That he said, when I descend in my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. Okay. And who are these deluded persons? That is none other than us. They do not know the divinity of my personality as the supreme Lord of all beings. Very clearly he's saying that. Manushim tanumashritam. That means in human form. Okay. He's still divine. He's not made up of flesh, bones, and Panch Mahabhut like we are made up of. He still has a divine form. But he appears when he does his Narlila, he appears in that form, and that is how he appears. And then people with deluded intellect, they are not able to recognize his divinity. So, Param Bhavam Jananto Mam Bhut Maheshwaram. So, the bhav that you carry, that is how you perceive him. Right? Then, even in Ramayana, it says, Prabhu Murat, Tin Dekhi Jaisi, Jeki Rahi Bhavana Jaisi, Prabhu Murat, Tin Dekhi Jaisi. The way, the kind of bhavana or bhav that you have, that is how you will perceive God. Okay, that's his principle. Ye yathamam. He reciprocates. So, if you think, he's a competent boy, handsome boy, he'll seem like a competent, handsome boy only, nothing more than that. If you think, he's death personified, and he will appear very, very, somebody with a lot of heads. And that is exactly what happened when Lord Krishna, he was fighting Kans, the wrestlers, Chanur and all. Different people were perceiving him differently. The mothers were seeing him with a Vatsalya bhav. They saying, oh my God, such a tender boy. How can he fight these wrestlers? Then the girls who had Madhurya Bhav, they were again enchanted by his beauty. And then the Rakshasas, who would look at him as an enemy, they would see death personified with so many heads. And same thing happened with Lord Ram also. When he was there, different people were seeing him differently. But the people who are able to catch his divinity, for you to catch divinity, you have to be at that level, right? So people who have a very pure heart and whom God chooses to reveal his true form, they are only able to perceive him. Most of the people, in fact, all of the people, most of the people, they are not. That's what he's saying in the shloka as well. Now, what do other part of the scriptures say, right? Dvevav Brahmano Rupe Murtam Chaiva Murtam Cha. So this is what our scripture says. Well, God is formless and all pervading. He also manifests in a personal form. Right? This is what we are talking about. Then um, the difference is, while our form is created from material energy, God's form is created by his divine energy, Yogamaya power. Bhagavad Gita 4.9 also says, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. Lord Krishna is saying that my birth and my acts are all divine. Don't put your brain to that. Okay, and in Padma Purana also it says Yastu Nirguna Ityuktaha. Basically, wherever the Vedic scriptures state that God does not have a form, of course it is being said, but we have to understand that means that form is not subject to the blemishes of this material energy. Okay. Rather, it is a divine form. That is why God is called without a form. That means they are not subject to those blemishes. Panch Mahabhut. There are more references to that. So if you look at Rig Veda, he says, Apashyam Gopam Anipadyama Manama. I had the vision of God as a boy who's never annihilated and who appeared in a family of cowherds. Okay, this is directly from Rig Veda. Then from Gopal Tapani Upanishad, it says the Lord wearing a garland of forest flowers plays his flute, enchantingly forming the Maun Mudra with his hands. Furthermore, if you go to Brahma Samhita, which is written by Brahmaji, who has created this world, right? Through the inspiration from God. He is himself saying that I worship Lord Krishna, whose form is eternal, all-knowing, and blissful. He is without beginning and end, and the cause of all causes. Okay, that's what he's talking about as well. And then you go to Bhagavatam. Of course, in this, Lord Brahma is praying to Sri Krishna. Lord Brahma, nobody can be more intelligent than Lord Brahma, right? No scientist, no person of a very high intellectual or a high level of intellectual ability can state that he's more, or he or she is more intelligent than Brahmaji, because Brahmaji is the creator. He has created this whole universe, right? And he knows all the secrets and all the laws governing this material world at all. And he's stating this in Bhagavatam, that he's saying, "Oh Lord, your body is not made of Panch Mahabhut, the five great elements. It is divine. You have descended in this form by your own free will to bestow your grace upon souls like myself." This is coming directly from Brahmaji. And then if you look at again in Bhagavatam, at that time, there is a mention that at that time the Supreme Lord who possesses all opulences descended in a human-like form. And then Bhagavatam again, the deepest knowledge is that God accepts a human-like form. So I've taken some references. There are tons of more references. Okay, it's just to illustrate that our scriptures are so vividly talking about a personal form of God, and that to the one who appeared in the cowherd form. Now, the topic of multiple forms of God and why the Krishna form is special, we will pick it up in next session. I'm not going to touch upon that today. We'll focus our discussion around the Bhagavan, the third manifestation of God alone. Okay, but we will tackle that question too, because I think it came up and it's an important question to tackle too. Right? People often get confused around it. So who is Bhagavan? In all the shlokas, if you look at it in Bhagavad Gita, when Sanjay, Dhritarashtra, or Arjun have spoken in Gita, even Vedyas has mentioned them as Arjuna Vach, Sanjay Vacha, but when for Krishna comes, he did not wrote Krishna Vacha. He's calling him Bhagwan, Bhagwan Vacha. Okay, so Bhagwan, Paramatma, and Brahman is what we are talking about. And Shri Bhagavan Vacha. He's not saying Shri Paramatma or Brahman because he's in his personal form. He's interacting with Arjun like we would interact with our friend at that moment. Okay, so that is the personal form of God, which is specifically called Bhagavan. Now, who is Bhagavan? So, what are the things we get attracted to in this world? We do get attracted to beauty, right? Um, so, yes, somebody who's attractive, looks beautiful, we do get attracted towards that, right? Then we do get attracted to people who carry knowledge. That is also, something we get attracted to. You know what, this person is a very well-learned scholar kind of a personality. So we do get attracted towards that as well. Strength, somebody is powerful who has strength, we get attracted towards. So, and this guy has a lot of strength. That strength can come in form of power also, not the physical strength. We do get attracted with that. Wealth, somebody is wealthy, we salute that person and think, wow, how did this person make so much of wealth? And there's a kind of an attraction people feel towards those people as well. Fame, somebody's famous, of course they are famous because people love them, they want to see them. And if somebody renunciates as well, then also we get attracted to them. The point here is that all these qualities are limited to a limited or a finite extent given to people, and that too for a temporary period of time. We don't know who was Miss Universe, right, in 94 or 92 or things like that. It is all temporary. Knowledge also, we cannot have perfect knowledge. Strength also, it is limited. I mean, you can have power and strength, and maybe win the Olympic gold medal in wrestling, heavyweight wrestling or boxing, but you don't have the strength to lift Govardhan, right? So it is a limited, finite quantity, and that also wanes over time. Same thing with the wealth. It is cyclical. You could be wealthy, you could be poor some other day. Fame, renunciation, they are all present in humans to a very small degree, and that too for a limited amount of time. However, all these qualities in full and unlimited are called in Bhagavan. Now, Van, if you look at it, even in Hindi word, if somebody is beautiful, we call it Saundaryavan, right? Gyanvan, Balvan, Dhanvan, right? Van means something that possessor of that thing. So Bhagwan means one who possesses all of these qualities, Shad Aishwarya, six qualities in unlimited extent. That is who God is. Now, when you talk about beauty, um, even it can dwarf a Cupid. In fact, it is said when Krishna looks at himself, he faints. Oh my, how come I can be so beautiful? He looks at himself and faints. He looks at Radha, faints. Radha looks at Krishna, faints. There is a beautiful leader, right? Him saying Radha, Radha and fainting. She's saying Krishna, Krishna and fainting, right? So that is how beautiful they are. And it can dwarf the beauty of a Cupid also. Yeah, we get attracted to material people only. Wow, what's there to get attracted about, right? And then God, you can just imagine. So he's the Ras Sindhu. He's given it in a very small fraction to somebody, that to a limited extent, to a limited period of time. Here you are talking about God, anything that we get attracted towards, right? Now we find alibi in terms of, oh my God, I'm attracted to this person. He has this thing, that thing, whatever it is. God is the epicenter of that, right? So, and he has it in abundance, infinite extent, we can't even imagine. And God is also called Vrihatvat. Vrihatvat means one who is infinitely big. He has to be infinitely big because this universe, this creation is infinitely big. So the upholder of that has to be bigger than that, right? It's like a bird holding something in its beak. It has to balance it out. It has to be bigger than what it is holding. So God is one who's infinitely big. But the definition, which is more for our self-interest, which gives us hope and incentive to know about God, to inquire about God, and to get closer to Him is that He's Brihanatvat, one who makes others big. He's not Kanjus Makichu said, I'm going to enjoy all of these opulences for myself and you guys deal with it. You little specks come of earth. I don't have to deal. He doesn't say that. He's ready to work with us and make all of us like Him, which is called Brihanatvat. Okay. Now, moving on. So this do you think we have seen God? Like in 9.11, he's talking about, people with dim intellect are not able to see me. You think if you see God, you would know who God is? Sunday has seen God. Anybody else has seen God? That's news. Good. So how did you feel when you see him? So by the way, we all have seen God. Okay. Maharaj said we all have. It has been infinite avatars he has taken, and all of us have seen him in some form or manner. But when we saw him, I don't know, Sandhya, which category did you fall in, but I'll tell you the different possibilities. The people who are in sattvic mode, and then they could be in rajasic or tamasic mode. Okay, so if you are in sattvic mode, predominantly you say, he's a special person, very competent, but definitely not God. So that's where your thought process would get limited to. Now, rajasic, there is nothing special in it. It's very much like us. You'll say it's just like us only. Right? You see this guy, and then if you are in tamasic mode, he's egoistic and characterless, much worse than us. Okay, so he used to be called Lampat. This and so many abuses, Shishupal, we know that the story he hurled at him. And then Duryodhan, can you believe that he actually showed his cosmic form to Duryodhan also when he went as a peace messenger? And he thought he's a cousin of Harry Potter or something. He's messing up with my mind. Some chemical locha is all is happening, and he's nothing special despite seeing his form. So even God comes in front of us, will not be able to believe him because he chooses to pick up people to whom he would disclose his divinity to, right? And have that relationship. Even if you see God, nothing would happen. So that is the state we are in right now. See, even when we come in contact with divinity, it's not that we have never come in contact with divinity, even when it comes to the matter of Guru. But why did the magic not happen? Right? It's not the first time we are coming in. See, for you, it's like philosopher's stone. When something touches philosopher's stone, it turns into gold. Okay. But the thing has to be iron, right? It should have the required level of that ferrous element in it. Then only it can turn. Or the philosopher's stone itself was duplicate. That means the guru was not right, or that his disciple could never become a proper disciple, or both were right? Gold and disciple was also there, but there was a covering. Covering means you were not able to surrender. There was still a barrier, right? So either of three things can happen. Either you were not seeking it for the right reasons. Either the guru you got was not right, and even if everything worked out well, you could not surrender your buddhi. So any of the barriers could be there. And same thing happens when we see divinity as well. We are not able to perceive it because of our self-imposed barriers that our intellect puts, and has been causing our undoing for multiple lives. So we have seen God. Okay, that is good news. The bad news is none of us could recognize him. Okay, hopefully next time we see him, we'll be able to. Now, which of the following do you think is more pleasurable? Let's understand. So we're talking about the personal Bhagavan form of God. We spoke about Brahman. We spoke about Paramatma as well, right? But I'll take the middle one. I'll leave it for now. So which one of the following you think is more pleasurable? Let's try to understand that. Eating rasgulla or becoming a rasgulla? If I give you a choice, which one you want to go for? Anybody? Would you like to relish a rasgulla or become a rasgulla yourself? Komalji is saying something related to rasgulla. I don't know which one you picked up the option for.
Second. I'm Dorna. I picked becoming a Rasgulla.
Anybody who's interested in becoming a rasgulla here? Yes, Meenuji.
Yes, I'm interested in becoming a Rasgulla.
Oh, you are interested in becoming a rasgulla? Okay, we'll get to that. Okay, so this is the difference between moksha and premanand. Premanand is where you can relish the rasgulla, God's bliss, and brahmanand is where you become rasgulla yourself. Now, again, the same question, Meenuji, does that change your mind, or you still want to become a rasgulla?
No, I changed my mind.
Okay, Maharaj has given that example. That's why I picked it up. Anyway, but then he laughs at this example himself and says, Swamiji is asking that question in one of his Prashnottari. He said, ha ha ha. He said, but it is not an ordinary rasgulla, okay? That is also a very special rasgulla. But Brahmanand is not an ordinary feat. So God, see, it would be very stupid of God not to relish his own bliss. Right? Even that rasgulla, if you become, of course, you're going to get a whole lot of bliss there. But then that bliss is definitely less than the bliss of eating a rasgulla. I have given this example multiple times that Maharaj so nicely explained that, on one side, see, right now we are stuck in Jagatanand. Okay, so forget about the other two Anands that I'm talking about. We are too busy enjoying Jagatanand. But beyond Jagatanand is Brahmanand. And beyond Brahmanand is Premanand. So Brahmanand is the bliss of moksha. The Premanand is the bliss of divine love, the highest treasure God can offer. It's his, the most closely guarded treasure that God has, divine love. He doesn't give it just like that. So the difference, how it is explained by Maharajji, that analogy should be able to drive home the point is, let's say on one side, that Rasgulla Ras is an ocean of Brahmanand. Ocean is pretty large, right? We know. And then on the other side, we have Premanand. Not even an ocean. Let's say a bowl of Premanand. And not even that bowl. Let's say we dip a needle in that bowl. Okay, and then you don't even hold the needle there. You take the needle out. Then what will happen? Some trace of that Premanand would remain on that needle, right? Tip of the needle, and then you taste that tip of the needle. And if you taste that Premanand, you will forfeit or give up that entire ocean of Brahmanand. That is how it has been compared. So you can understand what that eating Rasgulla means in this context. Okay, how powerful it must be. Yes, Sanjay, you had a question? And
Uh,
this eating, yeah, go ahead. Then I'll come back to eating Rasgulla.
One perspective, like when Meenuji said, I won't mind becoming a Rasgulla myself. One perspective is becoming a Rasgulla for God, like which he can relish. So that's sort of the thing I
Okay.
was saying.
Yeah.
And there's a
If you,
comment from Shalini ji.
Mhm.
I would rather see, this is something that we should always keep in mind when we talk about Rasgulla. Like people get interested in eating it. So she's saying, I would rather eat Rasgulla. If you become Rasgulla, others will eat you.
Okay. Yeah. So the point here is that eating Rasgulla is possible only when you worship God in his Bhagavan form. If you're worshipping God in Brahman form, then you will end up, God will give you moksha. And you will end up becoming a Rasgulla itself, and which is it kind of a spiritual suicide. A Rasik saint will say, no way, continue to be a human, but don't give up this opportunity of relishing Rasgulla as opposed to ending your journey at moksha itself. It's a very powerful statement. So, but then now for the demons that happened, we say, right, like Putana came and God actually liberated her as well. That is actually a bit of a punishment that God gives because they came with that bhav, right? Although God is obliged to give them their own abode, but then God, when he sucked the life airs out of Putana, he gave her Kaivalya Moksha, made her a Rasgulla. That is also a big deal, getting killed from God's hand. But they are bereft of the personal bliss of God, which is eating Rasgulla itself. Another analogy that is given is now baby in womb or baby in hand. Now mothers can talk about it. I mean, I don't have a personal experience on it, but what do you think is more relishable? The feeling of both have their own bliss, of course, but which one is more blissful? Anybody who wants to take that question? Any moms on Mother's Day? Which one you think? Okay, let's speculate. Which one you think will be more religious? Komal, go ahead.
Baby in hand.
Baby in hand, yeah. They would say, yeah, that was also blissful, the feeling of having a baby. But when it comes in hand, then you are able to see it, the or earlier you were perceiving that baby, but now it has come in, it has manifested in hand. So it is a much more blissful experience. So that is exactly how it is. In light or the Brahman aspect is more like a baby in womb. And then the baby in hand is when you actually enjoy God's bliss in his personal form, which is much more powerful and relishable. It is like eating a rasgulla. Minu, you wanted to add something? You raised your hand.
I just wanted to say that I want to become Premananda Rasgulla.
Okay, Premanand. Okay, you modified your answer. No, okay.
Sanda
Or-
modified for me. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so eating rasgulla basically is an analogy where you can relish the bliss in Dvait. Dvait means you have your identity and you can relish the bliss of God. So Dvait is binding in the material side, but when it comes to spiritual, it enables you to enjoy higher bliss. Okay. Becoming a Rasgulla is Advait, where you say Aham Brahmasmi, finally they attain that moksha. But that is also a spiritual achievement. But when it is compared against the Premanand, it seems insipid. That is how the proper comparison would be. Yeah. Now, hopefully that explains the difference between these two. I don't know what am I going to show. Okay, anything more related to this topic of what I spoke about? Somebody asked a question yesterday that the Paramatma bliss, is it Premanand or it is Brahmanand? That's a good question. Okay. I think it's somewhere in between, because Paramatma, it is a form. You are enjoying the form, but not to an extent, because if you look at the Paramatma in Vaikuntha Ras is not the Brajaras. Brajaras starts, the Premanand starts where you have proximity or direct access to God, and it starts from Dasya Bhav where you can at least touch his feet and you have proximity to his personal room. Even a servant can enter a king's room, but a normal, ordinary citizen cannot. They can only worship their or adore their king from a distance. So it is somewhere in between, I would say, but it's a good question. Which category would you put it in? Would you call it a Brahmanand? Definitely not Brahmanand. It's more than Brahmanand, but not Premanand, because Premanand starts from, I think, the Brajaras itself, which is from Dasya Bhav onwards. So Shant Bhav, which category would it fall into? I can clarify, but if I were to guess, I would say it would be a boot camp of Premanand only. Yes, Sandhya?
This is confusing. Like, because remember we discussed in that Bhakti
Confusing,
Shatak.
right?
No, let me complete. Like
Sure.
in that Bhakti Shatak, we discussed that both Jnani and Yogi who are worshipping Brahman and Paramatma form of God cannot even overcome Maya on their own. So that seems to suggest that they, even after getting the grace, the max they will go to should be Brahmanand only. Like not Premanand, as far as I understand it.
Okay, so this is how it works. Yeah, which one a yogi would end up getting?
Hmm.
For Jnani, for sure, I know they get to Brahmanand. Now, one would say that through their self-effort, see, the light cannot grace. So even for somebody to get moksha, they have to do Sagun Sakar Bhakti. And then the question comes, if they do Sagun Sakar Bhakti, why don't they get Premanand? They don't, because that is their dominant devotion or worship was always towards getting moksha. So God will come, bless them, and then finally they become, there are four kind of moksha. They get Sayujya, Salokya, Samipya. I think we can talk about those moksha, but they end up getting liberation only. There are four kind of muktis that are possible. So they end up getting that only. But the point here is they still have to do devotion of Sagun Sakar in order to transcend Maya, because on self-effort alone, they cannot do that. So for a Jnani, they will end up getting moksha. For a yogi, they will, they realize it in Paramatma form. But I can check. I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate on that and stick to what, the right word, the right thing would be around this, from a scriptural standpoint. So I would clarify it with Swamiji and then quote it, because I haven't come across this question personally and never thought about it for some reason. So I'll clarify it next time I meet him. Yes, Rahul.
There is a question in the chat from Jayaji that no doubt eating rasgulla is blissful, but how can we reach Godhead if we keep on relishing the rasgulla? Because I have heard that we have to go back to Golok. So I think she misunderstood the
Yeah,
rasgulla.
so, okay, meeting Rasgulla is an analogy for relishing God's bliss after you have become God realized. Okay, so it is not the material eating Rasgulla. So what happens is when you perfect your devotion in the personal form of God, whoever your Ishtadev is. Now we will talk about multiple forms of God. So let's say you have been worshipping Lord Krishna, or let's say Lord Ram, right? So, and you realize God in his personal form, then you will get his abode. Then what does God do after that? What are you going to do after that? Let's say you realized God, what are you going to do? Then you are part of his Nitya Leelas. Nitya Leela means you could either continue to enjoy that status or status, I don't know, okay, whatever it is, in Saket Lok, Golok, wherever you go, permanently, and it is ever fresh, ever increasing, and unlimited bliss. Or you could choose to come back as a saint to help other people, or God could say, hey, come along. I'm going to take an avatar on so and so Brahman, the 10-headed Brahmajis. Why don't you come with me and take on this role? Come as my friend or something like that. So he comes with his own, gang as well. So you could be part of his gang. Anything is possible after that. But you have already started relishing Rasgulla. Now you are not obliged to go through the cycle of life, birth and death, and all the Panchaklesh, Tridosh, Tritap and stuff. You are already realized, and you are in perpetual bliss at that point. So you are continue to relish Rasgulla, which continues to become sweeter and more fresher. And so that is the analogy I was giving. It is after God realization. After that, there's no coming back. When you come back, that is part of the Leela. That doesn't mean you have again become human and you are again subject to this 8.4 million cycle. I hope that answers your question. Yes, Shilpa.
Radhe 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 Nitinji sir.
Radhe, Shilpa.
So I just have a comment that from some of the recent lectures that I have heard of Maharajji, he says that Sanchit Anand is uh, is
Sorry. What did you say? I mean, we completely missed it, Shilpa. You heard
yeah.
Maharajji, but we did not hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Some of the lectures that I've heard from Maharajji, that we have like Chitsat Anand. I'm sorry, what was
Chit Anand. Okay, so what's the question?
it's more of a comment that he says that it's more of karm, gyan, and prem.
Mhm.
And the karmis, they're just karmis, and the most that they can get to is heaven. And then the gyanis, well, they haven't even they don't even do karmas. They're just yogis, and they're just gyanis. I heard a lecture yesterday that Maharaji said he gave a story between Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where the conversation was taking place in terms of how to attain God. And he said that karmis, the most they can do is get to heaven. The yogis, well, they don't even do karm. And then the premis, once they love God, they get to God. And how do they overcome Maya? Well, once they get to God, then by the grace of God, the Maya, it becomes under those lovers, because then God says God is Maya is servant of God, so then they don't have to worry about God. They don't have to worry about Maya, and that is also the same as the three Shaktis, the Hidadlini Shakti, which is also Maya.
Yeah, so what's
So
the question here? Yeah, that's true. God
no,
realization.
I don't have a question. It's a comment. That's
Okay.
all.
True. So karmi means if you are doing pure karma, at best you can do good karma that can take you up to Swarg only. It's only through devotion and love. You can send me that lecture. I can get you the extract, what exactly was going on. So yes, when you become God realized, then you become Maya teeth. You go beyond Maya. That means Maya is under you at that point. not under you, but you are beyond Maya at that point, right? So you become Yog Maya Yukt at that point. So Maya is under you at that point. But yes, when you love God, then you can even enslave God. And yogi, like I'll have to listen to that lecture to say basically how do we map it to the discussion that we are having. But yeah, good point that you called out. Through pure karma, we cannot achieve God. At best, we can go to celestial abode, Swarg or heaven. Thank you, Shilpa, for that. Okay, I see a few more hands. We have a presentation coming up, so I hope we can wrap it up in 5 minutes. Real quick, Annapurna ji, you wanted to add something? Maybe 1 minute each, and then we can hand it over to Pallavi ji for the presentation that she's going to make. Yes, go ahead,
Yeah,
Anup.
Radhe Radhe Annapurna ji. We can't
Hello?
hear.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Radhe
You
Radhe.
know, I just wanted to know about Paramatma. Is he four arms or two? You know, yesterday I had that question, but then I think, I'm raising again.
Four-armed form is his official personal form, Narayan form, right? That you see is Kshirodakshay Vishnu. That is what Paramatma is.
Forearm then?
Four-armed, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you, Annapurna ji. Pratyusha and then Keshav ji.
Radhe Radhe everyone, Radhe sir. So my question is, in the Shirodakshay Vishnu, does he have an Brahma in the umbilical cord? Because Mahavishnu does not, and the
I think the one
Garbhodash.
before that, Garbhodakshay, we spoke about that yesterday, right? Garbhodakshay,
Yeah.
Vishnu, the secondary creator, comes through that only. I think it comes through Garbhodakshay Vishnu, navel, and then, or Kshirodakshay, I can confirm that to you. But as far as I thought, remember the diagram, it was through Garbhodakshay.
Yeah, in the diagram it was there, but I was wondering whether it is really there.
Okay,
Because
I'll double
he's
check that.
there.
I'll double check that. Okay, maybe I picked up a wrong navel there, but I'll confirm that tomorrow. Okay. Even
Okay,
I thought
thank you.
it should have been Kshirodakshay, but yeah, he comes from that navel of one of the Vishnu, and that's how it goes. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'll confirm that. Okay, yes, Keshav ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. As per my little knowledge, one who goes worships Purushottam Krishna goes to Param Dham if he remembers him at the last breath. Then he does not and he don't have to come back. Radhe Radhe.
True. Keshav ji, you brought a very good point. God has said that who remembers me at the time of death comes to my dham. Now let's understand. I'll quickly and not take much time because I know we have a presentation coming up. Death is a two-step process. Okay. So if somebody says, are you going to realize God at the time of death? Answer is no. You cannot. Why? Because it is a very painful process. It's like 1,000 scorpions stinging you at the same time. So when I say it's a two-step process, means first you fall unconscious, and then Mr. Yamaraj comes and figure out a way to cut your, soul, take out from the umbilical cord, which it resists for a bit. So for you to realize God, you should have realized it while living itself. Then you become Vide, and at that time you can remember God at the time of death. Otherwise, it is impossible to do that. So somebody hoping or aiming to realize God at the time of death is impossible. Only that person can do it who's already perfected their devotion while they are living and they are in their senses at the time of their death. So that pain does not bother them. They are very aware of what's happening to them. Even the fact that now my life years are going to go away and I'm going to remember God, and then they can go. So this is how it works. But good point. Technically, that's how you can realize God. But can you do that? No, you would have realized God in the living, when you are in your senses, not at the time of your death. It's practically impossible to do that because it is a very painful process. Okay. Yes, Keshav, you wanted to add something? And then Pallavi ji, all yours.
Radhe Radhe. Sure, certainly yes. But the problem is not this. One who has realized God, only then he can remember God at the time of last breath.
Exactly.
And when God is coming to take him, he has not to come from somewhere else. He is already sitting in the heart of us.
Yeah.
Then he overpowers Yog Maya and no Yamdut can dare to come.
True.
Then
Vishnu
he
Doots will
himself
come.
goes back.
True.
That's per
Very
Srimad
true.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
Radhe Radhe.
Yamdoots, they don't even come near. Vishnu Doots will come, maybe a red carpet will be rolled, maybe some drums and some procession, something good will happen for sure.
So
Thank
no
you.
question of any pain. No pain at all.
Sure. Great. So good discussion. Pallaviji, all yours. Now we have our selfless team. Do we have the non-playing captain of selfless team? I don't see him today. Shamji, are you there? I see. Okay. He's showing some heart. Shamji, we'd love to see you. Your team is going to perform today. So Pallaviji, all yours. We're looking forward to the presentation today. I'm going to stop share now. Shamji, to be cheering your team at least. Oh, there you go. You've got our non-playing captain today. Go ahead, Pallaviji, all yours. And
Radhe Radhe.
feedback tracker also, let's post that. And let's, Pallaviji, go ahead and then we can make the remaining announcements too. Radhe Radhe.
Yeah. Radhe Radhe. Good evening, good morning. Thank you everyone for this opportunity. I would first of all request all my selfless team members to please join and please be on camera. Oh yes, I can see everyone, whoever are here. Jyoti ji also, please join. All right,
Radhe Radhe.
everyone. Yeah, Radhe. All right, everyone, welcome to our team's presentation. I am Pallavi, Selfless, and here's my team today, Jyoti ji and Manish ji. And today we are going to present our Sita Navami, Ram Navami presentation. I hope you all will like this presentation. First of all, wishing all of you a very happy Sita Navami. Sita ji, it's Sita ji's birthday today. Sita ji appeared on the planet Earth today. She is epitome of purity. She is epitome of grace. She was a strong, independent woman and very courageous. And she is none other than incarnation of Goddess Lakshmi. I would request our co-host to please launch the poll. A few questions because it is going to be the flavor of Thursday. We can't do without questions. So there are a couple of questions that we will just see that how well we know our Sita Mata. So please take a few minutes to post your answers, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the answers. Yeah. Are we getting answers? I can see that. I would appreciate if you all will participate, will encourage that you all can post the answers.
Somebody saying Kaushalya Devi also, huh? Sita ji's mother. 4 of them. And Bhumi Devi is it's interesting. Okay, today you'll get to learn something new then.
All right. Are we? We have
50.
only
54.
50.
Yeah. I think people are still answering. So let's wait for a few more minutes.
Let's wait. Let's
Yeah.
play our Ram Siya Ram tune.
Sure.
All right. All right. Thank you everyone for answering, taking your time to answer. So let's discuss and see the answers. First question is, who is Sita Ji's mother? And Kaushalya Devi is Sri Ram's mother. She is not Sita Ji's mother. So I'm sorry, whoever answered Kaushalya Devi. Sunaina Devi. Sunaina Devi is correct, but not that correct. The correct answer is Bhumi Devi. The story of Sita Ji's birth is that when there was severe drought in the state of Mithila, where King Janak was Janak was king of Mithila, and when he plowed the field during the severe drought, that is when he found Mother Sita in the ground, and that is why goddess Earth, Bhumi Devi, is called Mother Sita, Sita Ji's mother, and that is why Sita Ji is also called Bhumija. Later, King Janak adopted Sita Ji as a daughter, and that is why Sita Ji is also called Janki. The second question is, in her childhood, Sita Ji lifted Shiv Dhanush Pinak, and 88% people said yes, true. And I'm pleasantly surprised that this is the correct answer. Yes, Sita Ji in her childhood, she picked up Shiv Dhanush Pinak, and while she was playing with her sisters, and that is when her ball went underneath the pinak, and that is when she lifted pinak to get her to ball. And that is when King Janak decided that her suitable groom will be the one who would be able to not only lift divine pinak, but also would tie the thread, which is called pratyancha, around the bow, and that person will be her suitable groom. Sorry.
Bridegroom.
Yeah. The next question is, what was Sri Ram's gift for Sita Ji after wedding? So this is multi-select. Of course, in Naulakahar, I'm happy to see that many of you knew that Naulakahar is not something that was gifted. Churamani is the correct answer. That yes, Sri Ram gifted Sita Ji Churamani, which is an ornament symbol for the married woman, just like Mangal Sutra. And this is gifted by Sri Ram to Sita Mata when she came to Ayodhya. And the answer is a promise that he will only have one wife. What a beautiful promise that Sita Ji, Sri Ram gave it to Sita Ji as a gift, that even though there were tradition and it was very prevalent that kings were having multiple wives, but Sri Ram gave this gift to Sita Ji that he will have only one wife throughout his life. What a beautiful promise, and what a beautiful segue when we start mentioning about Sri Ram's greatness. We can close the poll, and please move into next slide, please. So on the auspicious occasion of Ram Navami that we celebrated just a month ago, we as a team did an activity where we reflected upon Sri Ram's qualities and why Sri Ram is our role model. What are the endearing characters, the stories of Ramayana, what motivates us? And that's what our reflections that we are sharing with all of you today. And we are hoping that you all will be able to relate to them. Next slide, please. Maryada Purushottam Ram, epitome of sacrifice, epitome of courage, equipoise. He was a true leader, humble, compassionate, numerous qualities and virtues Sri Ram had. And what all qualities? He has been always the source of inspiration for mankind for thousands of years. What all qualities we would like to incorporate? Next slide, please. For this slide, I would request, I would invite Manish ji. I would request our co-host to please give him speaking privileges. Yeah, welcome Manish ji. The question,
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Ram. Which
Jai Shri
are the
Ram.
quality of Shri Ram would you want to incorporate in your daily routine?
Well, Pallaviji, the quality that I like, there are so many beautiful qualities of Ram, of course, but the one I like is he is stable no matter what the condition is. So give you an example, like he found out from Vashisht Maharaj, Vasisht when King Dasharatha decided to make him king, he said, tomorrow you're going to be king, so you need to do this type of things. And he immediately started wondering, just because I'm the older son doesn't mean I need to be the king. Bharat is well qualified too. So he didn't feel happy right away. And then the situation changed where Mantra came into picture, Kaikai Mata asked for the boons, and then he found out that he's going to the forest. So he comes to Kausalya Mata, who's been praying all night to get ready. And he says, Father has given me kingdom, but he's given me a forest kingdom. And no matter what the situation was, he was the same. He was happy when he received, he wasn't happy, he was in the same condition in both ways. And that is the quality, I would like to remain calm and peace internally, especially, no matter what the situation is. And I try to practice that, via gems and wisdoms I've learned from sessions, Swamiji, like the Prasad Buddhi and all that stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, indeed a great quality that we all aspire for, mental calmness and equipoise. Manish ji, I would like to ask you, if you have to play the character in Ramayana, which character would you want to become and why?
Again, there are so many characters that we can learn from, but my character I like is Vibhishan because of his extreme humility that he showed, that when he surrendered to Ram, he didn't praise himself. He said, I'm the brother of Ravan. He kidnapped Sita Mata. I'm a Raksas. I have these flaws. I have this flaws. So it was just extreme humility, no pride whatsoever. He just did all shortcomings of his, and that's just amazing. I would wish to have even 1% of that humility in my life. To just this extreme humility of Vibhishan is amazing. So that's what I would select. That's why I selected Vibhishan.
Thank you, Manish ji. Vibhishan is Dharmatma. He was called Dharmatma. It takes courage to support Dharma and while standing against the family. So indeed, the great character. Thank you so much. Next slide, please. For this slide, I would invite Jyoti ji. Jyoti ji, Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Ram. How are you?
Radhe Radhe Pallavi ji, Jai Shri Ram.
Jyoti ji, can you please share a story from Ramayana which has touched your heart deeply?
First of all, Pallavi ji, I would like to thank you for asking this question. The story which is most touching to me is Sri Ram's and Sabri meeting. It is a touching episode in the Ramayana, and Sabri was a devout and humble tribal woman who was eagerly waiting Ram's arrival during his exile in the forest. And actually, when Ram finally reached Sabri's hermitage during his exile, she welcomed him with great reverence and devotion. Sabri, out of her love and devotion for Sri Ram, offered him wild berries she had collected. However, before offering them, she would have tasted each and every berry to make sure that it was sweet and ripe. And then she offered the best to her beloved Sri Ram. And most importantly, the meeting between the Lords Ram and Sabri exemplifies the essence of true devotion, where material wealth or any kind of status or these are all insignificant compared to the purity of heart and depth in one's love. and devotion for the divine God, like Lord Rama. It teaches a very valuable lesson about the power of selfless devotion and humility in spiritual practice. And there is one more important aspect I would like to bring in about Sri Ram, that how humble he was. He took all the berries which was tasted by Sabri with full love, and he was also devoted towards his devotees. That's the best
Yeah,
part.
great thoughts, Jyoti ji. Mata Shabri's patience and optimism is indeed inspiring. It is unique, definitely.
Yeah,
Next,
let's move.
yeah.
Yeah, let's move to the next slide. So Pallaviji, I would like to ask a question on that you are asking a lot of questions to all of us. We would like to know, there are many, as you mentioned in our previous slide, that Sri Ram has many more qualities. So which one of the quality which you would like to incorporate in your daily routine?
Yeah, thank you, Jyoti ji. I am in awe of, like all of us, I'm in awe of Sri Ram's qualities, virtues, innumerable qualities that he possesses. But one aspect of Sri Ram's character which stands out for me is his ability to refrain from judging or condemning others, even in the challenging situations. In the episode of when he got 14 years of exile, despite Mata Kekai's role in orchestrating his exile and causing him so much personal hardships, and he never condemned her. He never spoke anything bitter, criticized her in front of anyone, and he maintained his composure and fulfilled his duty with grace and dignity. This is one quality I would definitely aspire to emulate, which is so hard, but yeah, that way I would like to cultivate the mindset of not judging others and not criticizing people, even though in challenging situations.
Very well said, Pallaviji. Yeah, very truly said, that tolerance and acceptance and understanding mindset, that's all we need to uh, put in together. So so I'm interested in asking another question with you. um, so what would you, if you have to play a character in Ramayana, so then which character would you like to play if
Yeah,
you
thank you
given
for
a chance?
asking this question to me, Jyoti ji. There have been so many endearing characters in Ramayana, but one character which I would like to play is Shatrughan. Shatrughan was the youngest amongst the four brothers, and according to me, he embodies the essence of true Karma Yogi. He governed the kingdom of Ayodhya. He was the one who was safeguarding the borders of Ayodhya when his brothers Sri Ram, Lakshman, and Bharat was away. And not only that, he was fulfilling all his responsibilities as a son for his mothers and family responsibilities, and when all the brothers were not there. Apart from that, when Sri Ram came back, when he returned to Ayodhya, he joyfully relinquished the kingdom to him. So his actions are truly the spirit of devoted Karma Yogi. And one more character, Jyoti ji, I really, if get chance, I would like to play. Next, please, is Kevat. He is a very sweet village boatman. If I have to choose only one character to play in Ram Leela, I'm going to choose Kevat. He is a village boatman, and he knew the greatness of Lord Rama, and that is what makes him so much a great devotee, that he understood who Lord Ram was. And he didn't ask for anything, no compensation from Lord Ram for his services. Rather, he was always like, he was devoted. He was only insisting of washing feet of the Lord Ram. Such a selfless, sweet devotion.
Truly said. Yeah. So there are many characters to be which are very inspiring, and yeah, Shatrughan and Kevat are definitely one of them. So I'll hand over this for the slides to you, Pallavi.
Yeah, thank you, Jyoti ji. Um, Recently, we all celebrated Mother's Day also, just a week ago. And on the auspicious occasion of Mother's Day celebration, we are going to share a very strong, very impactful story when Lord Ram, he himself worshipped the Divine Mother in the form of Goddess Durga. So, in preparation for the decisive battle against Ravan, Lord Ram worshipped God Durga with deep devotion and for her blessings and strength and victory. And Ma Durga, pleased with the devotion of Sri Ram, appeared before him and blessed him. So, we please see a very small video clip about this story.
When goddess Sita was taken away by the demon Ravana, Lord Rama prepared for an intense battle with the demon king. On the advice of the Vanara elders, Lord Rama prayed to goddess Durga for 9 days, offering her a blue lotus every day. On the 9th day, goddess Durga, wanting to test Rama's devotion, hid one of the lotuses. Afraid that the auspicious time was coming to an end and not able to find any lotuses, Lord Rama remembered how his eyes were praised as being similar to a blue lotus. Praying to the goddess, Lord Rama was about to pluck his eye to offer it when the goddess appeared before him. Pleased by Rama's devotion, goddess Durga blessed him victory in the battle against Ravana. After the battle, upon returning to his kingdom, Lord Rama is said to have offered a prayer thanking the goddess in a grand yagna.
Lord Ram said the tradition of worshipping Lord Ram, he has set the tradition of worshipping Goddess Durga just before, during Navratri and before Dashara. That's what is said. Yes, please play.
श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भजु मन हरण भव भय दारुणम् नव कंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम्
भगवान के अवतार का केवल नहीं गुणगान है कैसे नारायण बने नर इसका पावन ज्ञान है
Jai Shri
Jai Shri
Sitaram.
Jai
Ram.
Shri Ram.
Jai
Thank
Shri
you,
Ram.
everyone,
Jai Shri Sitaram.
for giving us this opportunity. Thank you. And this is what is our presentation. Hope you all liked it.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe. Jai Shri Ram.
Loved it, Pallavi ji, and the selfless team. First of all, I must congratulate all of you and thank you as well because I think you took this initiative all by yourself. We've been reaching out to team that let's swing into action, and you took this initiative all by yourself. It's like we want to present it, and you had very nicely prepared. Think you did your research and the interactive segment and the beautiful pictures. I think they're all AI generated pictures. Somebody did a good job at finding those, and the whole concept of that interaction between the team members and the beautiful presentations and taking on this initiative. Hopefully it will inspire other teams as well for the benefit of everyone. We have 4 teams: Seva team, SEVA. Stands for selfless, E for enthusiastic, V for Vinamr, and A for Ananya. So if you want to join any of the teams, you're welcome to put it in the feedback tracker. But fantastic job. I must congratulate each one of you, and I can't thank you enough for taking this initiative and presenting it. And it's a good trend that we celebrated it like this. Any team and any individual can take an initiative as well, for that matter, for all these celebrations that we do on our session. So thank you again, Pallaviji. I would let people talk a little bit, and then we can wrap up our session, hopefully within the next 5 minutes.
Thank you, Nitinji. Thank you everyone for this opportunity. And if you like our presentation, please join our team. We are selfless. Yeah.
Manish ji, Jyoti ji, Shyam ji, you must be very proud of the team, right? See, they took initiative, and Pallavi, all of you were fantastic. Thank you very much.
It was a real honor for me today. Pallavi ji ने सारा initiate लिया, and she did call me 3-4 times, but I could not join her. But I'm very proud today. और मुझे वो गाना याद आ रहा है कि मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ, हम रहे न रहे वो जिंदगी चलती रहेगी. So it's so well that irrespective of who is your leader, mentor, communicator, if somebody wants to carry on the baton, there is no looking back, and nobody needs an initiative, any push, impetus. Just you, your willpower, and you are there. I'm so proud of our team today. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you very much. Pallavi ji, thank you. And the whole team, you guys did a fantastic job. Loved it. And good to see you back in action, Jyoti. Manish ji, so good to see you after long. So thank you so much for that. Yes, Sandhya, you wanted to add something? And Shri Ram and Kumarji doesn't speak, cannot happen. So we'll get to Kumarji towards the end as well. Go ahead, Sandhya.
Radhe Radhe, I just amazing, excellent, beautiful. And like Nitinji mentioned, I strongly feel that this was a new concept, new way of presenting, and this made us all contemplate about beautiful leelas and characters of Ramayana. I think this is just an amazing concept, and we can apply it in different contexts. And now it's like an idea which is available for all the Seva teams. So I really, really look forward to it. And this is like the thing for satsang and devotion, right? So I think that was perfect. So thank you all. Amazing. Yeah.
Thank you, Sandhya ji. And I would just say that on the day of Ram Navami, when I was just writing my journal and reflecting upon the qualities, that is when it came in my mind that how about we all take this activity. And thank you everyone who responded, and especially Jyoti ji, Manish ji. I know Manish ji has been very busy. Jyoti ji also, she was moving in and she was very busy. And you all took time and came along with me. Thank you so much.
Hopefully it will set a trend for all the teams to, get something going for all the celebrations that to do. And I think Lord Ram specifically dialed your number, Pallavi ji, to inspire you. But I'm glad it worked out the way it did. Yes, Rahul, you want to say something? Kumarji, you wanted to say something? I think you were omitted, so you're not very happy about it. I can
Yeah, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. I think we need to change the name of the team, Nitinji, to S for selfish, for not including me in this presentation.
Kumarji, you
but
have to officially join the team to be
You
included.
have to
oh,
officially
really?
join the
Oh,
team. Yes.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. At least I would have joined at least for this occasion. So
Now you join it, and then you'll be part of
Okay.
all occasions.
Yeah, you can do. You can
But then I
officially
will keep on insisting only stories about Ram and Hanuman. That's the problem. But anyway, I have to say, beautiful presentation. Again, when you talk about Lord Ram, nothing can be as sweet as that, right? His kindness knows no bounds, right? Anyone who can forgive the enemy, saying, go back and come back prepared tomorrow. Who will do that, right?
Then, okay.
So, nothing, everyone knows about Lord Ram, but beautiful presentation. Thanks for bringing this, and I enjoyed it. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Thank you, Rahul. Last words, and then we wrap up our session. Go ahead, please.
Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Ram. I mean, on this auspicious occasion of Sita Navami, we were super grateful to cherish them, this Leelas of Lord Shri Ram, our Prabhu Shri Ram. So thank you so much, Team Selfless, for bringing this Ram-my presentation. Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And we'll continue with our discussion on the topic of God, Bhagwan. Couple of more sessions, I guess. And then thank you again, Pallaviji, for the beautiful presentation that you did. And I'm sure it will inspire a lot of other people as well to come forward. In fact, if you are interested in sharing your spiritual journey, please fill it in the feedback tracker. I would like to encourage participants from time to time to come forward. And it becomes a monologue, just seeing myself or hearing myself over the session. So very nice. So Radhe Radhe, have a wonderful rest of your day and great evening, and stay blessed. I'll see you on Sunday evening, Monday morning then. Radhe Radhe, good night, good day from my side. Thank you.
Thanks to all.